家好，我是 JK。今天我们有幸呢，来到了这个兰博基尼的这个私人展厅，有幸请到了这个兰博基尼的 CTO Reggiani，跟我们一起去聊一聊新的这台兰博基尼 Countach。For this new Lamborghini Countach, I know it has a super capacitor.
Yeah.
Since you're the CTO, so you're the right person to talk about it. What's the difference between the super capacitor compared to a Ferrari SF90? Their hybrid system.
Yeah, I think the main difference between supercapacitor and standard ion lithium battery is the fact that in a standard ion lithium battery you can storage much more energy.
Okay.
And you need to charge this energy, and due to the chemicals of the battery, normally in a ion lithium battery, if you have 100, the maximum energy that you can charge, you can use, for example, from not less of 20% and not more of 80%.
Right, like a Tesla.
Like a Tesla. And
yeah.
This is due to this, you need to have a cooling system to download the energy that is needed, that is not possible to use.
Correct.
And the weight is really heavy.
Yeah.
And this allowed you to have electric autonomy. Supercapacitor that we have is completely different. First of all, is low tension, means we have 48 volt. Normally in a ion lithium battery you have 400 volt.
Yes.
This is high voltage.
Right.
And supercapacitor is a symmetric power, means if you charge 100, you discharge 100.
Okay.
This system allowed to have not the necessity of a cooling system.
Okay, so
much
it
more
does not
simple.
overheat?
No, because it's normally is a high level of efficiency and is symmetric, means you don't have exceeding heating to remove.
Okay.
And this is important. And it's clear that for this application, supercapacitor is used only for a short time in high power.
Okay.
And this is the best that you can have for our use. Normally we use a supercapacitor that is connected to electric engine.
Yes.
That go directly on the gearbox, on the secondary shaft, means to the wheel.
Okay.
We are able, for example, in Countach, to feel the all of torque that you have during the shifting.
Okay.
And we put the torque in these moments, and in this way you don't perceive the shifting behavior of the car. Or we use in acceleration, where we can improve in the lower RPM of the engine, giving more acceleration to the car.
Okay, and I heard from an interview that you have yesterday, you're saying that in the future Lamborghini cars, you won't use the supercapacitor anymore, right?
In the future family of Aventador, we will go in a plug-in solution.
Hybrid.
Hybrid solution will use ion lithium battery and not supercapacitor.
Okay.
Because it's a different mission. We want to have a certain range of
pure electric,
and to reduce dramatically the CO2. And due to this, it's important to have a plug-in system and not a supercapacitor.
Okay, and for the supercapacitor, I know it's only add a small portion to the main power, to the total power, right? Will the conventional hybrid system add more horsepower to the future, like Aventador, hybrid Aventadors?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
It's clear, but also the battery will be much bigger.
Yes, I was thinking about it's much heavier too.
Only to give an impression, the system that we have applied here between supercapacitor, electric engine, we talk about 34 kilo.
That's it?
That's it. That generate 34 horsepower, means it's really...
It's really good. It's a good deal.
Efficiency.
Yes.
If you have a ion lithium battery, normally easily you are close to 200 kilo more.
Yes, at least.
And these are really a big impact in the dynamic of the car. For this reason, it's clearly that if you want to use a really plug-in, you need to start from scratch to make the car. It cannot be done like the Countach.
Okay. So the future Aventador, it will have more electric horsepower, right? But at the same time, will be much heavier because of the battery pack.
Our target will be to stay on the same weight of today, but it's clear that it's much more difficult because you added much more weight.
Okay, so you may have to cut some weight different places.
Different technology, different material, compensate.
All right, and I heard from yesterday interview from Mr. Winkelmann. He was saying that all the future Lamborghini models will be hybrid, right?
Yeah.
There will be no more gas-only Lamborghinis after 2025. Is that right?
We launch a program that is called Core Tauri.
direction.
And we take the commitment to reduce before 2025 50% of the CO2 in all our car, and this can be done only with hybridization. Means the first car will be the Aventador, and after will arrive Urus, and later the Huracan with hybridization PHEV.
Okay, and all these Lamborghini cars will be a plug-in hybrid, not just a regenerating plug-in. So you can charge it, and you will have probably like 20-30 miles electric only, you know, just to get you drive out of your house.
City or
right.
Correct. It's exactly this. And it's also the only way to be able to fill, let me say, the homologation cycle and to reduce the CO2.
And in the future, do you see, because right now, like yesterday, I'm sure you were there seeing other cars as well. You see a lot of pure electric hypercar or supercar. Do you see the future of Lamborghini making a pure electric, either hypercar, daily driver?
I think the world change fast, and will be the rule that will define how fast we need to change. Now the next step of product line that will be hybrid, plug-in hybrid, is also became due to the request of the law.
I cannot imagine I have to plug into a Huracan or a Aventador. I'm telling you the truth, I cannot believe that.
We plan to have.
Yeah, I understand you want to put a hybrid system, but I still cannot believe when I park.
Will be plug-in, means you can plug
your charger, right?
Your charger, and to give a possible contribution.
But 90% of the power was still coming out of the gas engine.
It's clear that the thermodynamic engine can also recharge the battery.
Yes.
And on this way, but potentially you arrive at home or in the office and you can plug really with the socket your car.
Okay, yeah, that's acceptable. And for, I know you have to hybrid all those cars, and do we have to sacrifice by accepting, you know, a V8 Huracan or a V10 Lamborghini Aventador, right?
In this moment, I can talk for the first car. Aventador is the first car that we have in line.
Yes.
And Aventador will have a V12 naturally aspirated engine hybrid.
Great. So still gonna be V12.
Yes.
Okay. I would love to hear that from you, because I was worried about in the future we're gonna have, you know, because everybody else is doing that, right? Mercedes, BMW, they all, you know, change their V8 layout to a, you know, 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder, right? Turbocharger. So Lamborghini, we're glad that you're doing that for all the fans, especially for the Chinese fans. We all love the 12 cylinders.
Yes,
that's great.
Stay with our DNA.
Yeah, and then let's talk about more about the new Countach. Tell me something special about the Countach.
I think Countach is special for me is the fact that the Countach is a tribute to the car that was presented, the concept car that was presented in 1971.
Yes.
And was a concept car.
Oh,
and
that was a concept car.
Was a concept car.
Okay.
The really production car arrived only in 1973.
Okay.
But what was the concept car in 1971 is the basis of the DNA of Lamborghini for 50 years. Because
50
today
years, yes.
We take the DNA of the Lamborghini, means Countach, Diablo, Murcielago, and Aventador. DNA is exactly the same.
Yes.
In terms of mechanics.
I agree.
In terms of packaging, in terms of technical solution,
and layout.
Also in terms of concept design. One single silhouette line, a transversal section that have really done with horizontal line where you have really the shoulder of the car perceivable, and all these components define a Lamborghini. Also, if you see far away without to see the badge, you say immediately is a Lamborghini.
Yes.
And this is really, this Countach is an homage to the concept car, because with the concept car, Lamborghini made a foundation for the DNA of all the car that came for 50 years. It means this is really a robust, and this was our way to tribute Countach, this kind of milestone in the story of the car.
Yeah, I mean, Lamborghini, especially the Aventador or all Lamborghini cars, is the most recognizable cars on the street, right?
And this is important because this is really to have a character, to have a DNA that nobody
you
can
have
put in this.
Other automakers, they change their styles, change their DNA every single year, right? And
for us, what is important
Lamborghini
is to change the design, but the DNA must be recognizable immediately.
Right, I agree. And for the whole platform of the Countach, is it same as the Sion Sion platform?
His engine is different. In this case, we have 780 horsepower from thermodynamic engine. Means 10 horsepower more. We change dramatically all the rear parts of the car in order to have an exhaust system that is completely new. It's the first of the last periods that have 4 tubes. With this, we reduce the back pressure. And from this and other solution, we take out 10 horsepower more from thermodynamic engine.
Okay.
And the other points that is different from the Sian is that all the calibration of the use of a supercapacitor is different. We customized for this car in order to have much more intervention in the shifting, means to feel and to give much more comfort in the shifting behavioral of the car. And is a software application and hardware application.
Okay, and as of the chassis or the structure of the car,
in terms of
it's
dimension,
the same.
Is the same. Is the same from a structural point of view, because you can imagine also for the all the restraint system, safety system, we need to be compliant.
Right.
This car was developed in 1 year from when we have approval from our board.
Just 1 year?
Yes, and
wow.
the car is here functional.
Okay, from the outside I cannot tell it's a Sion, right?
No.
But this light tell me it's more like close to a Sion
what
platform.
we take like a task for our designer was to rebuild this kind of
the shape
is a shape of the old Countach.
Oh yes, its own Countach is like this.
Only one big glasses.
Correct.
And for us it was more important to give emphasis to this line that generate this kind of hexagon that is really Countach.
Yeah.
And after lights is not fundamental. Let me say like this. And we prefer to put new lights in the front.
Yes.
Because in the front,
you never think about a flap light.
No, because of the concept car of 1971.
Yes.
A rectangular headlamps like this.
Yes.
And we prefer to make a completely new headlamps based on the concept car.
Okay.
And what is really important and give again the impression of the Countach is that the top view of the front is really much more flat. If you see a normal Aventador, you have
right. It's going this way.
and this is flat. And like there is another small, what we call in Italiano, chicca. But this is the only car that have a name written here.
Oh
Countach, like in the
that's
concept
right.
car. No other Lamborghini used the name in the front.
Yeah, I never see a emblem in the front. Telling
this is a tribute, and only this car will have this.
Okay, and this car has a special name. It's not from a bull, right? It's from surprise. Wow.
Is a dialect, Italian dialect, that is an explanation of surprise. Wow.
Yeah.
And was done from a technician, from a mechanic that work in a workshop. And when they arrived the first time the car, let's see, say Countach, and there were Ferruccio Lamborghini and Lucio Berbone that heard and say we decided to call this because everybody must have the same level of surprise and shocking looking.
I never heard that the story though. It's the Countach name is from the Lamborghini mechanic.
Yeah, it was a mechanic that see the car and say, "Oh, Countach."
Oh, Countach. Okay. All right. I wish I speak Italian, so I will understand the excitement.
Your pronounce of Countach is perfect.
Okay. Thank you. And for I know there's 112 Countach will be made. But I'm sure, because so far there's no information about, is there any roadster motor?
No. It will be only this 112 and punto. This is a tribute to the concept car, and the concept car was only coupe.
Okay. And these cars still have the single clutch transmission, right?
Is the reason because we use the supercapacitor to fill the
gap
whole of torque in the
Oh, I can't wait to drive it then.
Normally with the single clutch you have a hole of torque. When you open, you release the clutch.
Correct.
And what we do is that in this hole, we
use a supercapacitor to fill it, so there's no gap.
No gap.
Wow. Because I have a Aventador, and I know. I mean, at the beginning, I feel compared to Porsches, Ferraris, you feel the gap. But after you drive for a while, I start loving it because you can feel the push from the seat.
what we do with the supercapacitor is what I say is a software application different.
Okay.
In Strada, we fill this torque. In the Sport and Corsa, we use to put more.
Okay, so the supercapacitor not only lets you start up faster,
Yeah.
like doing a faster 0 to 60
Acceleration.
acceleration, but also fill the gap
Yes.
between the single clutch transmission.
Yes.
That's the first time I heard that from him. And in the future Lamborghini Aventador lineup,
Yeah.
it will be double clutch
Yeah.
in the future, right? Because
The technology.
everybody's
will be
talking
double
about,
clutch. Yes.
so the single clutch will be abandoned. Huh?
This is the last of kind.
This is the last one if you want to fill the gap. There's no more gap on the Countach though, but if you want to get the clutch
The
gap.
emotion of a single
Right,
clutch.
the emotion of the single clutch, you have to go buy the Aventador right now.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I guess that's all the question I have. Thank you very much.
It was really my pleasure.
All right, thank you very
Enjoy.
much. Okay,
Grazie.
bye.